Hi, my name is Claire, and I've been knitting for about 14 years.
My name is Roseanne.
I'm Alana.
Golly. I'm Laura, and I have been knitting for
2.5 years.
15 years.
10 years.
Ooh, I'm gonna date myself for about 40 years.
The first thing that I ever knit is this pink scarfy thing.
the first thing I ever knit was a scarf. This scarf right here.
The first thing I ever knit was a black fun fur scarf.
It's a blanket for one of my stuffed animals. It's also like a cape. You can wear it as a cape.
Lovely stitching at the top there. Beautiful seaming.
It's not very good.
It was supposed to be a scarf. It was that long,
It was supposed to be a straight line, and it was supposed to be a normal scarf.
and
And then when it turned out to not be such, I put buttons on it.
The scarf started to grow wider and wider with every stitch.
I don't think I've ever actually told anyone this because it's kind of embarrassing.
And it was so much fun. I just kept knitting and knitting and knitting, and the finished scarf was about 6 feet long.
And then once I finished it, I just took the needles out and put it in a gift bag and gave it to my friend, and it proceeded to unravel.
And I've never worn it because I'm afraid to lose it, so it's in my office.
My mom taught me how to knit.
But she thought it was a good idea to start with a sweater.
My mother, bless her heart, took me to the craft store and we got acrylic mohair yarn.
It was in our Adirondack chairs out on our patio. It was a nice summer day. Got to like your glass of lemonade there.
My grandmother used to crochet and do like hairpin lace.
And she taught me to knit lace for my very first project.
She had Alzheimer's, so she couldn't remember how. So she had her friend come over and teach me how to knit and then how to crochet. Her family was really poor growing up, so they had to make all their own blankets and all their own clothes. So I think it was nice for her to see that kind of be passed on.
I went to the shop, I bought needles, I looked it up in a book, I looked it up with images online, and I taught myself.
I taught myself from Knitting for Dummies. I didn't even have YouTube.
It was like I had been meant to find this particular craft form.
You know, looking at this thing, it makes me feel like I can do things that I don't normally think I can do.
It's just so gratifying. Like you can really like take something that is just like a ball on a shelf and make it your own.
I feel like I've accomplished something. It's very gratifying.
Now I knit pretty much every day.
I actually made a sweater. One arm was longer than the other, but I actually did make a sweater. And you just fix that by rolling up the sleeves and you look great.
I feel like I can knit anything I want to knit. I can make lace, I can make toys.
I make sweaters, I make blankets,
skirts, socks, so come a very long way from this garter stitch scarf 12 years ago.
I came from Knitting for Dummies to actually being a professional knitting teacher.
So for beginners, I would recommend choosing something you're excited about, something where you love the colors or you love the fiber or all of those things, a project you're super excited about, something that will compel you to keep going.
Very cliche, but very true. Don't give up.
Never give up.
But this is supposed to be fun, and it's not the end of the world if your piece comes out with holes and strings and everything like that.
Everything that you do now that you think is a mistake is something you'll actually try to do later.
And keep that piece, because after a couple of years, you're gonna be so good and look back at it and be like, wow, I was such a mess at the start, and look how far I've come.